Hey guys. Oh, let me get my microphone so I can deliver some of my thoughts in my way. So I wanted to call this video, why I think Harry Potter is important to literature and society as a whole. And why I think art is a very or just the fantasy of Harry Potter, what it does for people who have moral queries or certain acknowledgments about what can be what can be achieved through the power of literature. So when one thinks about Harry Potter that doesn't know about the series, really, I think what they first think about is our wand, a kid with glasses, even the image of Professor Snape, Lord Voldemort, characters, right? The you know. But I think people who are deeply into the series recognize Harry Potter not based off of the images necessarily, but the emotions that are attached to the imagery. And there's a big difference there. So, right, I'm not too into Star Wars. So when I think about the spaceships, all I see are spaceships. I don't reflect upon the wonder that the spaceships are attached to audiences. So when someone sees a broomstick within the Harry Potter film, the Nimbus 2000, I think they just see a broomstick. With me and other fans of Harry Potter, I think we are feeling this sense of freedom. The character Harry, what it provides to fans, what it provided to children, was a sense that despite their current circumstances of feeling limited, even powerless, because a lot of kids feel a sense of despair because their youth is very limiting. There could be a world that J.K. Rowling crafted that enabled you to imagine yourself breaking the laws of physics, to fly and to soar, and to expand your imagination. The theme of, or the image, or the symbol of flight within Harry Potter did a lot for me as a child, especially growing up in the Bronx, pretty harsher city. Kind of looking out my window and imagining that there could be a there could be a world where I could fly from the Bronx, that I could escape the trap of the Dursleys, which was, certain systemic issues. It was very interesting and captivating to me. I used to go to a Catholic school, and this Catholic school, I just couldn't stand the rules. They were so harsh. There were certain religious doctrines that I couldn't abide by. And I was considered a bad child because I had religious queries, and I was considered a troublemaker, which is something that I proudly identify as. Especially because of a film like Harry Potter, right? I mean, the kids were not perfect. They did not have a tight grasp on rules and regulations. There was kind of this sense that, when it came to moral issues and when it came to the greater good, sometimes rules could stand in the way, which is a very good lesson, I think, for children to recognize within their earlier stages of development so that they are not trapped by an ideology that results in them following a system that may be corrupt because it is the system. I think there are, I mean, even looking at the character of Ronald Weasley, who grew up in poverty, with 8 siblings in this compact house called the Burrow. Him having hand-me-down clothes, but that not preventing him from being a hero. It has a lot of messages there. The issue of blood supremacy, of racial injustice, is striking within Harry Potter. The character Lord Voldemort, who is a blood supremacist, is reminiscent of Adolf Hitler, because while Voldemort is a blood supremacist, similar to Adolf Hitler, there was an issue surrounding Hitler's heritage, where he had some Jewish lineage, and Voldemort has Muggle lineage. So it says a lot. And so when people kind of, I think, talk about the magic of Harry Potter as being just children stuff, which maybe it's a little different in this culture because a lot of the kids who are watching Harry Potter are now adults. But I kind of scoff when people say Harry Potter may not be real literature or real fantasy. Um, because for me it was as real as it can be. I think the only measure of real fantasy is this thing not is thing expanding upon what we think is natural to the point where it's supernatural, and does it allow us or enable us to imagine a greater society, not a society, a greater metaphysical environment. And I think Harry Potter passes those prongs. So in spades, and I think its impact has hit some global spheres and has done so much for the fantasy genre that when people scoff at Harry Potter, is whether it's real literature, is kind of off-putting because it's so wrong. But I mean, these are the fantasy heads, the fantasy gatekeepers who have their ideas and opinions about what's real fantasy. They're just wrong. Um, Even looking, I mean, there's commentary on the lack of complex characters within Harry Potter, and they say, well, it doesn't only only for only character that really shows that complexity is Professor Snape. I mean, shut up. Look at Professor Dumbledore and all the secrets that he has, and the lack of trust that he has for others. This kind of intellectual superiority that he possesses, that kind of caused him to make the journey for Harry to save the Wizarding World even more difficult. Is he right a lot of the time? Of course. Dumbledore is incredibly right. He's a brilliant wizard, but there is certain complications with his character. So I just really hope that people respect, give more credos to Harry Potter and its impact on literature and its impact on what it teaches people. I mean, look at it. You have a generation of people who are less submissive to the system, and for me, I mean, I'm a political activist, and I think that a lot of my activism and my spirit to rebel against systems is based primarily on my moral education, Harry Potter, and I'm a black man from America. But who am I, right? But I do think that we should give more credos to fantasy and the Harry Potter books, for its influence. Because I graduated from Morehouse, and I was pretty disappointed that we didn't have a Harry Potter class, or just in general like a fantasy course, a high fantasy course, because I just feel like those, I don't know why. I think people just don't look at that as like real literature, but that's as real as it can be, man. So, hey guys, these are my thoughts, delivering them to a YouTube channel near you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I need you here, man. I want to keep making videos. I know I make videos kind of sporadically, like twice every 2 weeks. But, if I see more interaction here, if I see more people engaging, of course I'm going to make more videos. But, I kind of see the numbers stay stagnant. I kind of make this a little hobby for myself. So thanks, guys. Have a good one.